These are the most common job interview questions. Tell me about yourself. Why are you interested in this position? What are your greatest strengths? What is your biggest weakness? I hate that one. And before I tell you about this last one, get my free ebook, How to Prepare for Job Interviews. It's linked in my bio. And the last one, kind of tricky. Can you tell me about a challenging situation you faced at work and how you handled it? Every job interview starts with the exact same question. And this might not seem important, but it's our first impression, so it matters a lot. So here's the question. Hi, how are you? And if you respond with something like, fine, thanks, how are you? Or even something worse like, I'm actually kind of nervous. That is bad news, my friends. This is your first impression. You want to come out guns blazing. So when they ask, how are you? Here's your answer. I am amazing, thank you. I've been looking forward to this ever since I saw the job posting, and I'm very excited to talk more with you about the role. How are you? When you are answering the question, tell us about yourself, in an interview, there are 3 things you absolutely have to say. First, we'll start with our brand statement. You should have this locked in. It should be the same every time. We'll tell them who we are professionally and how many years we've been doing the thing that we do. For example, I'm a certified resume strategist and content creator with 12 years experience in hiring, recruiting, and job search coaching. Number 2, tell them how you got into this industry and why you're so passionate about it. This way they'll trust that you will work hard and stay a long time in this job. For example, I started to help people find jobs after I personally went through a very challenging and painful job search because I didn't want other people to feel that same pain that I felt. And number 3, probably most important, give them some highlights of what you've accomplished, but don't tell them everything you've accomplished. You will have time for that later in the interview. For example, since starting career coaching, I have helped over 1,600 clients with new resumes, and I have amassed over 1 billion video views across social media platforms. And I've since built a team of 5 to help me run this business. Then we close out with something like, I feel like my professional passions and background make me a great fit for this opportunity, and I am very excited at the prospect of working with your team. Now, for a more detailed breakdown on this, as well as guidance on how to construct your own Tell Me About Yourself answer, check out the full version of this video on my YouTube channel. If you get asked what is your biggest weakness in a job interview and you're not flipping that question to sell yourself, you are missing out. So here's how you ace that question. Number 1, it has to be relevant to the job. So if it's a marketing position, don't say your weakness is skateboarding. Number 2, even more important, it can't be a critical skill to the job. So if it's a data analyst role, don't say spreadsheets. 3, best case, we're going to highlight something we've actively already been working on improving. The biggest trap job interview question is not what is your biggest weakness. Everyone knows how to answer that one. The biggest trap question is tell us about your biggest mistake. This one's tough to answer without throwing our entire credibility out the window. So here is your guidance to answer this without causing any problems for yourself. Number 1, pick something from at least 10 years ago. 2, it has to be a mistake that does not call into question your character as a person, like being mean to someone or being lazy. 3, ideally pick something you were new at. Make this a rookie mistake story. 4, spend most of the time answering this question talking about how you corrected the mistake, all the lessons you learned from that experience, and how you prevented the mistake from happening again. The interview question that's hardest to answer without being sarcastic is, why do you want this job? Obviously, we want the job because it pays us money. And maybe as an added benefit, we don't absolutely hate the tasks we'll have to do, but there's an expectation on us to make this sound like our life's greatest passion. And for some of you, maybe that is. Great, congratulations. For everyone else, here's how you answer this. 3 things. We're going to mention the job duties on the job description that we're most excited to do. 2, we're going to mention why their company seems appealing to work for. And 3, just tell them when you started to become interested in their industry so they feel like they know your backstory. Before you go into any job interview, do this so you nail all your answers. In ChatGPT, we're going to upload the job description. We're going to add this prompt. You can borrow this word for word. Then practice answering these with stories from your own experience. And for more interview help, check out my newest ebook, 101 Interview Questions and How to Answer Them Perfectly. Do this before your next job interview to nail every answer. Copy the responsibilities from the job posting, paste them into Google Sheets like this, reword every responsibility using the tell us about a time method like that, then make notes on your answers, and use this during your interview. There is one thing you could do in a job interview that will cost you the job no matter how qualified you are. So please, do not ever do this. Do not Say anything bad about your old job. And if they ask why you're leaving your old job, I made you this translation chart. Feel free to take a screenshot. If you left your last job after a short time, say this during your next job interview when they ask why you left. When I was recruited to that last role, the team outlined a very appealing set of responsibilities. Unfortunately, upon starting the role, the portfolio had changed quite a bit from what was originally described. I stayed for blank months to try to make it work, but the role just wasn't aligning with the work that I'm passionate about. Such as, and then you describe work from the role that you're interviewing for. Second round interviews are extremely different from first round interviews, obviously. So we need to prepare for them much differently. According to US World and News Report, here are some of the top questions that come up in second round interviews. First, they could be asking future-oriented goals like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years and how does this position align with your goals? Two, they're going to ask about improvement-based questions like, what was a time you learned from a mistake and how did you improve based on that? Three, they'll ask leadership questions. Can you provide an example of a time you led a team through a challenging project and what was the outcome? Four, adaptability is huge. Can you give us an example of a time you adapted to a major change? Five, innovation questions like, can you give us an example of a time you contributed to a project or a process improvement through innovation? And of course, they're going to ask about team dynamics with questions like, how do you approach working with a diverse team that has varying perspectives and working styles? Do not answer the question, what are your salary expectations, with a number. Instead, say this. I'm just looking for a package that aligns with industry standards. Is there a specific range you're aiming for that I can let you know if I'm comfortable with? These are the 5 best questions to ask at the end of a job interview. These are going to impress the heck out of the hiring manager and have them excited to move forward with you. 1. What is the most important thing I could accomplish in the first 90 days in this role? 2. What are the skill gaps in your current team that you might be looking to me to fill? 3. What is your communication style with your team and how do you hold everyone accountable to perform at a high level? 4. What gets you most excited about this company's future? And 5. Is there anything regarding my candidacy that you're unsure of that you'd like me to clarify? And for great advice on how to answer questions that they ask you, check out my free ebook, How to Prepare for Job Interviews. After your next job interview, send an email that says this to improve your chances of getting the job offer. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview me today. It was a pleasure learning more about you and company name, and I left the meeting feeling more excited than ever about working together. After further reflection, I feel I would be an exceptional fit for your team, especially considering my background in blank, blank, and blank. And those blanks would be your most relevant skills for this job. I also see my professional approach as being an incredible asset to this team. My innovative ideas and commitment to growth would fit in very well with the culture that you have developed. And I'm very excited about the things we can accomplish together. Thank you again for your time today, and I look forward to connecting in the near future.